Joins us from the health and fitness coach. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. Well, you were just telling me off air that you've already been busy, and flying the flag for the fitness coach and doing well. So, are you catching up now? Is it all the grey matter working into gear?
Oh, I'm not sure the grey matter's ever working in properly, but it's moving as fast as it's going to go at this sort of stage.
Well, that's good enough. There's nothing better than that. Now, how have you been over the week? All things good?
It's been fabulous. It's 28 degrees.
I know.
I'm always happy when it's sunshine outside. It makes everything feel better.
Well, I was talking to Denny the other day, and I said I'd been into town, picked up a few things, this, that, and the other. One thing I'd noticed when the sun's shining, people's faces, people's demeanor, and their whole attitude is like it's lifted, and they're like, "Oh, it's a better day." But in the background, there's still one or two people going, "Oh, it's too hot. I don't want to." So, do you think the summer is generally a good thing for people? Do people try to source the sunshine? I mean, I know people go away to California, wherever it is. Oh, that would be you, wouldn't it? To go on holiday or whatever. But is the sun the answer for everybody?
So when it comes to the seasons, I think everybody reacts differently, and the way that we approach summer, winter, again, reacts differently. When I see summer coming, there's a few things that I know will shift in people's mentalities. One is, oh, it's hot, I'm going to need to wear less clothing, let's start being healthy. That is a common mentality that I see, that everyone sort of suddenly sneaks up on them and go, can I get into shape for, July and August time? So I think people become quite health conscious when it comes to this time of year. But equally, I think I'm a big believer that SAD, so seasonal affective disorder, is a very real thing, because we as social creatures enjoy spending time with each other outdoors in nature, having those, if you think back to lockdown,
yes,
I don't think being stuck inside four walls benefited anybody. I don't know anyone who enjoyed the idea that essentially staying inside was what we had to do. It had serious mental health effects on most people, because we need outdoor socialization. That is it's a fundamental part of who we are as creatures. And when that sun comes out, the vitamin D comes out, there's so much life out there that it lifts people's spirits. Just listening to the birds chirping, just watching sort of the leaves growing and the colors blossoming has a huge mental uplift for most people.
Do you think that the vitamin D thing is also a very real thing for those people who may describe as living life like a hermit, staying indoors? They're doing all of the chores and everything, and they may not be able to get out for one reason or another. Do you think the lack of natural vitamin D also has an effect on their abilities and their very being?
Absolutely. But I would also caveat that with, regardless of whether you are an indoor kind of person or an outdoor kind of person, most of us in this country will never, even in the middle of summer, get enough natural vitamin D. So everyone should be taking it as a supplement. So that is one thing that I would say is, from pretty much the age of 12 months, I've given my kids vitamin D, because even in summer, when you're playing outside as children, you're still not out there enough to garner enough of that particular nutrient. So I do believe it has a positive effect, but it's not enough to say, don't take it as a supplement. I think that's something that everyone should be taking, unless obviously healthcare providers say otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I know when before my mum passed away, when she was ill, she was indoors a lot, couldn't get out. That's what she did, take the vitamin D supplement, and it did help to a certain extent. So what about people like you say, we've got now to June, and do you think a lot of people, particularly women, will be going, oh, I need to get that bikini body, I need to get, because I'm going on holiday or I'm going to the beach or whatever it happens to be? And if you look on social media, there's a lot of things steering people in that direction. If you want to look like this, you have to do that, or you have to buy this product or whatever. But you come about it from a different way.
So when it comes to getting a summer body, you can do a lot in the space of 8 to 12 weeks. But equally, if you're going from, for want of a better word, couch potato to trying to be shredded in the space of 12 weeks, all that's going to happen is you might achieve something by, let's say, the end of August, sort of 3 months away, but it isn't going to be anything that's sustainable or is going to last you. And you're going to get a little bit resentful of anything that you're doing, because you're most likely not going to be able to enjoy a lot of what summer has to offer: the barbecues, the G&Ts in the garden, you know, the summer
Prosecco,
parties.
yeah.
Exactly. So as much as it's very tempting to essentially say, well, I just won't think about my health until May, and then I'm going to just blast it and go all in, all that will create is a yearly annual cycle of losing a little bit of weight, being a little bit exhausted whilst doing it, being a bit resentful. And then by the time you sort of get to whatever that goal is, that holiday in August, you come back from it and all hell breaks loose and you binge like crazy, because you go, well, I've restricted myself for 3 months. I've pretty much hated every second of it. I've enjoyed my holiday, drunk probably far too many pina coladas, and now I'm going to come back and screw it, it's winter, it doesn't matter. And so it creates a really unhealthy cycle. If you want to have a really beautifully lean, toned bikini body, or what is it that men wear? Budgie smugglers?
Budgie smugglers, or budgie smugglers, or perhaps lime green
Oh goodness.
mankinis. That doesn't. No, that's just.
No, if you want to have the mankini body or the bikini body, then it's something that has to be maintained all year round. It isn't something that you can just think about in a short period of time. And I think that is the biggest thing that I would say to people when it comes to summer and weight and body, is that it isn't something that there's a start and a stop. As soon as you understand that the only time you stop caring about your health and weight is when you're dead, the sooner you start to realize it isn't something that you can pick up and drop depending on the time of year.
Yeah.
So yes, you can do a lot in 8 to 12 weeks. And I do, 12-week programs with people to get them in amazing shape, but it has to be done in a way that allows you to maintain those changes.
Yeah, and I can see that. And not only that, if it becomes like something of the norm, you make it like the norm, something they enjoy, then it's not too much. It's not a case of, right, okay, we'll switch on the body for the summer, I'll switch it off for the winter. So it's not a case of that. Now, do you find that the women essentially come to you before the summer and try and achieve that goal that's expected of them? Which in most cases it's probably not, but it's a personal thing. Do you think they're on the hurry up, right, quick, I've got to get into shape, I've got to do this? Or do you find that once they've spoken to you, they then maintain it over a longer period of time, like recurring clients, if I would say?
So I find throughout the year, there are no peaks or troughs, even when it comes to New Year, because the kind of people that I work with are the kind of people who are accepting of the fact that this is the last time they ever want to do this. So if someone came to me and said, I want to be in this kind of shape in 12 weeks, which means losing, 30 kilos in 3 months and having a 6-pack and going from a beer belly to nothing kind of thing. If that was their aim, I wouldn't work with them, because they're not in the right mentality for what I do. I don't espouse restriction to the point of starvation, nor do I espouse harming your health for weight loss, because a lot of the time with extreme quick weight loss, you are actually harming your health, your metabolism, your internal functioning. So I wouldn't work with someone on that capacity. So if they came to me to do that, I would have to direct them elsewhere. So for me, it isn't suddenly everyone comes before summer or everyone is in January. Everyone's got different times of year where something triggers them to say, enough's enough. I don't want to do this. And as much as I love my clients, I don't want to see them in a year or 2 years or 3. I want them to be able to take the understanding and knowledge that we've worked on and be empowered to maintain their body lifelong throughout winter, summer, and everything in between.
So it's an initial program you instigate, and you aspire them to follow that in order to maintain. Fantastic. And do you find, just quickly, do you find that people are by and large managing to do that?
Yeah. So when it comes to how sort of I work with people, and there's no right or wrong, this is just my mentality, is that if we are unhappy with our body, and that can also be people who are underweight, it can be people who don't need to lose weight, but maybe they're quite flabby, so they want to change the composition. It's not always to do with weight, but if we are unhappy with our body, then there is a psychological element to that. And if we have put on weight, it's not because we're lazy or we're slobbish. It's because psychologically something's driving us to create unhealthy habits which harm us. And so we look at together the psychology behind, why am I choosing this? Why am I heading to the vending machine for a Kit Kat instead of taking a salad? Why am I stuck on the sofa for 3 hours in the evening watching Netflix rather than going for a walk? It isn't because that's easier or we're lazy or convenience. It's because psychologically something's driving us to do that. And as soon as we can identify the driving force and the trigger, you can essentially break the pattern and direct that habit in a much more effective way. So once you've kind of shifted that psychology, it's very difficult to go back, because you create a new normal. And that's why it then lasts for life, because you haven't just said, well, if I eat less, I'll lose weight, even if I hate doing it. You've gone, how can I do this in a way that becomes a part of my life?
Yeah. So it becomes the new way of doing things. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, fantastic. All right. So once again, lovely to talk to you on this lovely warm Wednesday. Got the fan going, it's all warm. So how do people, what is the best way to contact you if they want to know more? Clearly, you've got a Facebook page.
We do have a Facebook page, so you can find me on Facebook, Rita Trotter, or our business page, The Health and Fitness Coach. You can head to our website. It's probably the easiest thing to do, which is thehealthandfitnesscoach.com. Or you can email me at Rita, RITA, at thehealthandfitnesscoach.co.uk.
Fantastic. Rita, it's been a pleasure. And well, you're going to have to be stuck indoors with your clients now, and you won't be able to get out to the sun, will you? Oh, dear.
I'm staring at it as we speak.
Oh, well, that's all right. Rita, thanks for talking to us. We'll catch up with you soon. Speak to you next week. Take care.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.